I'm John Allen Boryk, and they knew me here by just my first and last name. And I began school at Aurora 50 years ago this coming fall. Aurora College, as it was known then, was in Illinois, and I was in Oklahoma. Being a Christian liberal arts school, Aurora was clear that I picked up. We were not a greenhouse Christian isolated campus. We were in the world, and the variety of students from other countries, as well as other religious beliefs, went into the mix. I remember a conversation I had with President Crimi. Dr. Stevens was president when I arrived, and Dr. Crimi became president. And I visited with him on several occasions in his office, and one was end of my first year, and I said, Dr. Crimi, I'm going home, but I'm a very different person than I was. I'm kind of nervous about going back, because when I went home at Christmas, my friends who went to OU and other schools, they just had the same philosophy but with bigger words, and I've changed. And he said, well, you've probably changed more than you think, and it's been a leap, and your brain goes ahead, but your soul doesn't catch up with it. I mean, it's a leapfrog type process. But he assured me that I would be okay, and that to keep being open and inquisitive and knowing that there's a larger world out there. Times in Mississippi where I can point to being directly taught how to hate and how to save people who were different. But when on campus, Dr. Martin Luther King was speaking in Chicago, and so a group of us went in. One of the faculty members, probably Dean Thomas and Dr. Krause and some others, took those of us who wanted to go in to hear him, and I went with the intention of hearing a real racist, because all I'd heard was sound bites. Well, Chicago Sunday Evening Club is a worship service, and went there, and instead of hearing a person rant and rave as I had on the news, I heard a sermon that touched me deeply, and I knew my life would be different from then on. So after the service, I went back to greet Dr. King, who's about my height, and in my southern coloration, I said, Dr. King, something happened today, and this is going to be, I'm different. And he put his hand on my shoulder and said, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. And those words have sustained me. At Aurora, I knew, I could see that there's no difference, but that's not how I felt. But it took a power greater than intellectual stimulation to change how I felt in my heart. Memories are very, very dear, very clear, and Aurora formed my values and who I am more so than the other schools I went to after. And I hope that alums will be generous in their support to ensure that that happens without having to use other ways in tough economic times.